Right, so good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Caroline. I'm fine.
That's good. Today we are going to do a grammar lesson.
Right.
Reviewing the second and third conditionals for regrets. So the title of today's lesson, which I thought was very appropriate for you, is Making This World Better.
Okay.
So the page says you cannot really change the past. Is it worth worrying about mistakes we make? So read these 3 quotes. They don't say who they're from. And then comment whether you agree or you disagree.
Okay. As you grow older, you will find only things you regret, other things you didn't do. I think that's right. Because sometimes we are facing situations in a way that we are driven by our fear, and then because of that, we don't do things we should have done at this time. For instance, we maybe didn't listen to ourselves really, what were our needs, and express to the other person that this is how you see how things could be. And because of that, order, you understand that actually the pain that you think you would have suffered is relatively low and tolerable.
When I look at this quote, as you grow older, you'll find that only things you regret are the things you didn't do. Then I think of all the, I wanted to go zip lining in a forest, but then I always lose my nerve and I don't go. What about the second quote?
It is sensible to reflect on how you could do things better next time. It's complex to regret what you could have done in the past. Well, I'm more mixed about, I have mixed feelings about this quote because I think that you can regret what you could have done in the past, not in the way that you can change it, but in a way that it's a way to learn from your mistakes. So if you don't think about these wrong actions without trying to feel some regret and then be motivated to change next time how you did things, you will never learn from the past.
And the last one, I'd rather regret the things I've done than the things I haven't done.
Yeah, you know, this quote was really strange for me because I was stuck many times in things I haven't done because I couldn't face actually the consequences I had in my mind about doing those things. Basically, I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about seduction. I'm talking about getting to know someone else. And whenever there were some feelings, I was afraid to expose those feelings and to be hurt by
to be vulnerable.
Yeah, to be vulnerable and to be hurt by the reject from the other one. So I think I didn't say what I felt at this time, or when I said it, it was too late. So of course, those feelings were growing, but only on my side, and of course for the other person, the feelings weren't there, or at least didn't grow enough to match mine. So I'm old enough today to say that I'd rather regret the thing if I wish I regret the things I have done than this no than the things I haven't done. Yeah.
Yes. You know, we'll move on, but they do say it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved. But mistakes are part of life. We all make mistakes in every part of our life. Can you read what these two people say?
Yeah. When things go wrong, it's normal to reflect on what, why, and how things went wrong. Most humans are optimistic and want to learn from them. Can you think of a mistake that you have made recently? It might be a mistake at your workplace, among friends, or with a family member. You try to learn from mistakes. Recently, so recently, yeah, my party. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I made a mistake because actually I don't know if it's a mistake because I couldn't know that my party was bugged, really bugged.
Invested. But I think you trusted the person who's supposed to be an expert in this field.
Yes.
To install parquet that wasn't in. But hopefully you've learned from that mistake. And in future you need to demand a certificate saying that the wood has been treated.
Yeah.
Okay. Bologna and Donata both have some regrets.
Well, at age 18, I went to college and studied law. I have had a very successful career, but have taken very few vacations. My life has been spent helping others. I could have taken a year off to see the world, but I never did. I should have realized that the year would pass quick. It's time to make a change now before it's too late. I must say that I share part of my thoughts because I worked a lot hard to get my second degree as a psychologist, while I was also trying to set up a small company, or that was the time with my daughter and at this time her mother that I could profit from a vacation, but I was working on the exams. So, and most of the time with the mother, she met me when I was changing my career, and I think that I didn't um, have enough time to share with
you sort
her.
of lose that work-life balance.
Yeah.
And your work becomes more and your family lose that time with you. Okay, what does Donato say?
When I was 25, I started to grow apart from my best friend. We had a few disagreements, and I decided I didn't really want to hang out with him. Now that I'm 40, I wish I hadn't just let that friendship. Time I tried to get him back again. Well, I told him interesting because it's night I dreamt about it. We didn't have a kind of argue, but he said things that was really sad, and he became a bit selfish. And each time we saw, it was really like we didn't share the same views. And
you start drifting apart.
Sorry?
You start drifting apart. Your interests change, or your opinions change.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. Okay. And I was always, it was always me that went in church, going to his place. So I said, okay, now it's my decision's turn, not always me. Didn't do it though.
Yeah.
So for now,
a relationship then becomes a bit one-sided, I think, and you feel if you're putting in all the effort and he's putting in none, then it's not going to work.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's like become really different from ours. He has been successful in his business. At the time, I thought that it was because of all the time he did, but I was also busy. So I think rejection is war actually, and we are no more than old friends.
Or acquaintances.
Yeah.
Okay, Colleen has worked hard. Read about her career and the things that she wishes she'd done differently.
A few years ago, I completed my PhD in biology. Since then, I have worked as a professor at a prestigious university and published more than 10 articles in neurophysical science journals. But I still consider completing my PhD to be my greatest accomplishment. I was challenged and pushed to my limit almost every single day. I am proud of my accomplishment, but if I had the opportunity to turn back time and do it again, there are a few things that I could do different. In most countries, a doctor of philosophy PhD is the highest university degree that is conferred after a post-study by university. Prestigious, inspiring respect and admiration, having high stage, reputable, having good reputation. Write the text that Queen explained the difficulty of studying at this level. When she says that she was challenged and pushed to her limit almost every single day.
Yeah, so it sounds quite difficult. Challenged and pushed to the limit almost every single day. Which word is a synonym for achievement?
Accomplishment.
Good. Why does Colleen use a second conditional at the end of the paragraph? If I had the opportunity to turn back time and do it again, there are a few things that I would do differently. Does she feel this is a situation that she can change?
No, she feels situation that she couldn't, that she can't change anything. But yeah, well, it's like well, we as human beings we have this capacity to think about things that doesn't exist. So we think about if we could change the past, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah. In other words, this is an impossible situation or an unrealistic situation because we know you cannot go back and do it again. What's done is done. Colleen can't change the past, so she uses certain structures to talk about such situations, looking at regret and self-criticism. Almost all of this text refers to unreal situations. In this lesson, we'll take a look at how to use these structures to talk about regrets and to offer criticism.
First, Mary?
Yes, please.
Okay. First, I wouldn't have constantly compared myself to others. Academia is quite competitive, and seeing others succeed is tough when you are struggling. I could have set myself loads of stress if I hadn't put so much pressure on myself to perform better than those around me. I should have trusted that my success would come just at a later time. Second, I would have taken more advantage of all the opportunities I had to learn. I wish I had learned to code and had the opportunity. If I had known how important coding is to every field, I would have taken the coding classes offered during my education. Learning just the basics of coding was so helpful for research, but I would have preferred to have learned. I should not have been afraid to ask questions when I was confused. A PhD is a learning experience after all.
What things did Colleen do in the past that she regrets now?
Well, actually, first of all, she regrets to have compared herself with other researchers, essentially because those other researchers were more successful than her, and that she was struggling at this time. But you know, we always compare the worst on our side
to the best of the
to
other
the best
person.
of the other.
And that obviously then causes lots of stress. So she
Exactly. So yeah, she eventually got stressed. And secondly, she regrets to not have taken code lessons, which are essential in almost all the fields, and also to not have asked questions when she was confused. So maybe she was feeling that asking questions was
maybe a sign of weakness.
Was acknowledging that she was vulnerable, and she tried not to appear vulnerable, and then she didn't ask questions that could have saved her time.
So to acknowledge that she needed help.
Knowledge, exactly.
So my student who's doing coding is on the right track. He's taught himself coding, my student in London.
Exactly.
So I don't think coding was applied in every field. Obviously, they're saying here.
Well, due to the rise of AI, my friend who has a PhD in psychology and a PhD in artificial intelligence, he used to code, and he told me now he's able to code in one afternoon, something which is really impressive to me, because during his psychology doctorate, he coded, and this is how now he is running a company based on AI and psychology.
I think he's in a pound seat, going to reap a lot of reward. Okay, so we were talking about unrealistic situations. It didn't happen. We use a modal verb, could, should, would, plus have, plus the past participle, to express events and situations that didn't happen. You could have called me. We should have booked the tickets earlier. He shouldn't have spoken to us like that. You could have warned me, but all of these didn't take place. You could have called, but you didn't call me. So by saying you could have, we are intimating that you didn't. To express regret, we should have booked the tickets earlier and we would have got the discount price, but we didn't. So this is expressing regret. And this number 4, this man here, is expressing criticism. You could have warned me that they were coming. So in a way, he's criticizing you because you didn't warn. So this is used for regrets and to express criticism. So here is the grammar explanation. A modal verb plus have plus a past participle. And remember that we are always expressing unreal situations, situations that didn't happen. Okay, you want to read those examples?
It didn't happen, but it wanted it to happen. It could happen, you might have one. It didn't happen. and it was the right thing to do. We should have booked the ticket earlier. It didn't happen, but it was the wrong thing to do. We shouldn't have spoken to us like that. Whoa, our dinner party was a disaster. I know, we shouldn't have invited him. Well, Sadie could have been kinder to me. Sure, but Sadie should have known not to talk about politics. Yeah, you could have warned me to avoid that subject at dinner. If I had known, I wouldn't have invited Max or Stephen.
So we can guess what happened at the dinner party. Sadie was not friendly with Max because she brought up politics, which we all know is a bad idea to discuss at a dinner party. Does the woman criticize the man? Yes, she does, to an extent, saying, you could have warned me to avoid that subject at dinner. I find that a bit of a weak criticism because we all know religion and politics are not something that mix well at dinner tables.
Yeah, I do agree.
Okay, so conditional sentences, both the second and third conditional sentences are used for criticism and regret. In the second conditional, James has strong opinions and doesn't listen to others. His friend says, James, if you listen to people when they speak, they would like you more. This is a second conditional. If you studied harder, you could be successful. So it is talking about with the past participle, could be talking about in the present or future. The third, that's the second conditional. The third conditional talks about both in the past. It uses the past perfect.
So just a second. I think this is my oui, hello? Oui, oui. En bas du bâtiment 7. Hein. En bas du bâtiment 7. Okay. Sorry, I have a delivery in 2 minutes. So, okay, okay. I read this one. It just 2 minutes. I have to go down and take the delivery.
I'll wait for you to come back.
Now?
In 2 minutes, we'll go. So you understand this, that the second conditional talks about past simple. If you listened, when you speak, they would like you. The third conditional uses the past perfect. If you had listened, it wouldn't have turned into an argument. Okay, so shall we pause there and you go down and get your parcel? Is it too soon?
I don't know, it can be 3 minutes.
How long does it take to get downstairs?
For me, or 20 seconds. But he has to come and cross the garden. So
let's carry on with the lesson.
Yeah.
Complete the sentences with the correct answer option.
Sorry, but your presentation was unsatisfactory. If you had made an effort, it
might have been interesting. Correct.
Might have been great. But I would, for me, the same, I don't feel.
If you had made an effort, it should have been interesting. Should is more in when I'm telling you what you should do. It's not really an option.
No, so it's potential, mind. Yeah, exactly. Listen, Joe, if you made an effort with new people, you had made, I see. Listen, Joe, if you made an effort with new people, you wouldn't make you would make more friends, yes.
So if you made an effort, he's saying, if you do this, you will.
Yeah. If you made it, if you made an effort with the part.
It's past simple, yes.
You
Would
make more friends. Okay.
Yes. So the third conditional, which uses the past perfect, the result clause is would have. So this is a second conditional with past simple.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that you are soaking wet, but if you had called me, I could have come and pick up you earlier.
Yes. Pick you up earlier.
Pick you up earlier. Okay, I'm going down.
Okay.
Sorry. And I come back. Thank you.
Sorry for the unfortunate delay. But these things happen. We are doing live recording from someone's home. So he's just had to go and get a parcel. So these things do happen.
Okay, here I am. Sorry.
No.
Hello.
Right. Number 4. In this one, the if clause comes second, so the result clause is first.
I see. You would have more friends if you were more sociable.
Yes.
How did you score 23% on an assignment? If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have let you go out that week.
This is something you might say to your daughter.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't take her well. If you had told me about the situation, I could have done something to you. She might have given you a job if you hadn't been so rude.
Yes. Not a good idea to be rude in the interview.
Yeah. You would be more successful if you organize yourself better. If you got more sleep, you wouldn't always be in a bad mood.
Right.
You could get more done if you kept the area today. It's obvious to me that if she really wanted to meet her sales target, she would work longer hours. Job. If you had arrived at meeting on time, people wouldn't be so annoyed.
In this case, it is if you arrived. Remember, this one has to be, for past perfect, this one has to be wouldn't have been. So it's just past simple. If you arrived at meetings, he obviously arrives at meetings all the time late. So she's saying to him, if you arrived at meetings on time, people wouldn't be so annoyed with
you. Yeah. If you had listened, you would have understood the instruction.
So this is the third condition. If you had listened, you would have understood the instruction. Complete the final part of Colleen's article. Modal plus have plus past participle.
If only I had listened. Complete the final part of Colleen's article with modal have plus past participle. My advisor, or Anthony, report from Iberstein, if we knew what it was we were doing, it would be called research, would it?
It would not be called research. So apparently Albert Einstein said, look, if we knew what we were doing, it wouldn't be called research. It's research because we don't know what we're doing in other words. So,
okay. If only I had listened to this advice and brought the opportunity to take risks with my research, I would have come across some novel ideas.
Or research. I might have come across some.
Yeah, I might have come across some novel ideas. Research and academia are 5 places to challenge information. I will embrace the opportunity to take risks and be more creative.
She's talking about the past. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
So she didn't embrace. So in this case, you use I should.
I should embrace the opportunity. I should have
embraced
the opportunity to take risks and be more creative. Since you don't get you don't get the opportunity very often in a regular job. My PhD was a great experience, and despite the stress, I don't regret it. I learned so much, improving my skills and got the good job I have.
Do you believe when Colleen writes that she doesn't regret a minute of the experience?
Well, I mean, now that she has her PhD, actually, her satisfactory brain system is happy. So she forgets all the pain she had, because what matters the most is the result.
But I do think she still regrets not taking risks and perhaps being more creative, that she might have come across some novel research.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
So this is talking about regrets. If only I'd done that, or I wish I'd done that. They express unrealistic expectations. If only is stronger than wish. You cannot have realistic wishes about the past and the present. Because it's already happened. So wish plus past simple and if only plus past simple express a desire for change in the present or future. I wish I had time to meet you today, but we are effectively saying we don't. That's why it's an unrealistic wish. She wishes that summer would arrive quickly. If only it were that simple. If only I didn't have so many meetings, I could get more work done. So when the subject and object are the same, you can use could instead of would. So if the subject and the object are the same, you can use could. If they're not the same, you cannot use could. You cannot say, I wish you could take a vacation. Well, you could if you wish the other person away. So wish plus past perfect and if only plus past perfect express regret. He wishes he had never met you. If only we had seen that movie at the theater. So wish and past simple, if only and past simple express a desire for change in the present and future. Wish plus past perfect and only plus past perfect express regret. Are you happy with that? This is expressing a wish. This one here, past simple, expresses a desire for change in the present or future, and using the past perfect expresses regret for something that's already happened. Okay, you can read this page. This is for criticism.
I wish you would stop asking me the same thing over and over. I wish you would listen when I am talking to you. I wish the neighbor's dog would stop barking. I wish they would take this issue seriously. I wish I would remember my kids. I wish we would learn to treat animals with kindness. I wish that politicians would answer the question honestly.
So you may be more familiar with wish to talk about something that we would like to be different. But the use of wish for criticism is typically used to talk about people who are doing something you don't like. Like, I wish you wouldn't smoke in my presence. This we often say to our children. I wish you would listen when I'm talking to you. Okay. Read each scenario. We're going to practice regrets and criticisms. Read each scenario and express an appropriate regret or criticism. And you may use your imagination. There's no hard and fast answer.
Aneska is annoyed. Her colleague Maya arrives late at the meeting. Today Maya was 30 minutes late for the presentation of their manager. When Aneska sees Maya late, what does she say? I wish you would arrive on time at every meeting.
Great. B.
Gillian lives with her sister. Gillian is neat while her sister is messy. Gillian wakes up for one morning. Gal goes downstairs and finds the kitchen to cook pizza array. Gillian is really annoyed. So she goes upstairs and opens her sister's bedroom door. What does she say to her sister?
First of all, she might say, wake up.
Yeah, wake up. I wish you would clean the kitchen when you
are
leave,
finished.
when you are finished.
Or I wish you would learn to clean up after yourself. By the way, in English, we pronounce this name Gillian.
Gillian.
Yeah. C.
Jim and Chris are close friends. Jim invited Chris to a basketball game, but doesn't tell Chris that he also invited Leo. Chris and Leo dislike each other, and during the game they have a noise again. Jim leaves before the end of the game. Later that evening, he calls Chris. What does he say? I wish you told me that you was coming.
Jim is the one that invited them both. So Jim invited Chris and Leo.
Yeah. So Chris. Oh yeah. So sorry.
Something like
I wish.
actually adults.
Hello, Chris. I wish I didn't invite Leo because of the argument.
And their example is, I wish you and Leo would just learn to get along, act like adults. This can be difficult when you have two friends that don't like each other.
Yeah.
What about D?
Nicole feels upset. Her friends went for dinner last weekend and didn't invite her. They posted a few pictures on social media, and it looked like they had a great time. When Nicole sees them next, what does she say? I wish you invited me to this dinner.
I wish you would include me in your dinner parties or include me when you go out, because it makes her feel left out. Okay, we're not going to talk more about practicing regrets. No one wants to make mistakes, but if you don't take risks in life, you might not get what you want. Listen to Sia. What does she talk about? And predict what she might talk about next.
When I started my first company, I didn't know anything about the startup world. Looking back 10 years later, here are some things that I learned the hard way.
What does it mean to learn things the hard way?
Well, there is a good way and a hard way, if I understand well. So, what does it mean learning things in a hard way? That means that you waste your energy, you are stressed, you lose time because you do wrong, and you learn from your mistakes, and you made a mistake.
Yeah, because she admits to saying she knew very little about the startup world, and yet she chose to go in and start a company. And perhaps the lesson to her is she should have done her homework better before she started the company. Listen to Sia, and she makes her first point, and then answer the questions.
First, the right business partner is crucial to a successful startup. I chose to start my first business with a friend, and it was a complete disaster. It took me months to end our business relationship, and our personal relationship suffered. If I had known then what I know now, I would never have gone into business with a friend. I would have been much more careful to choose a partner who complemented my strengths, shared my vision, and had a stable financial history.
Well, there is a crucial progress.
Yeah, the average of crucial is essential.
Sorry.
It is important, but it's essential. It's something you cannot overlook.
Yeah. Who did Saya start her first business with? A friend.
Sometimes that's a bad
idea. How does Sia express a regret? She said, Steve, which Chris was perfect.
She said, if I had known then what I know now, I would have been more cautious. So it is using the third conditional
Sorry.
say past perfect. But if I had known, I would have been.
If I had known, I would have.
Yes.
Okay.
What does the verb complement mean? If we complement each other. So you can pay a compliment to someone, in which case it's a noun to say nice things about someone. But if we say these two complement each other.
Yeah, I would say they don't work together. I miss it with D, but
yeah, it's actually this to add something to each other or to add something to a situation.
Okay.
They complement each other.
I don't think
okay. So this is second. We'll listen to the second part of her speech.
Second, I wish I had known that failure is just part of the process. In fact, being a successful entrepreneur is about learning from failure and applying those lessons to the next idea. I had heard time and time again that 9 out of 10 startups fail. But like most people, I believe that I would be the lucky one to succeed. I wish I'd known how many times I would have to reiterate and pivot my idea before I was successful. And even at that point, I still wasn't making money. I should have known that success takes time, a lot of it.
second, I wish I had known that failure is a part of the process.
Yes. You know, you have to, in life, you have to get knocked down and get up again. And that's part of the learning process.
Yeah, this is when you do startup, you have to do it earlier. Because if you do it at 60, you don't have much time.
Yes, and you haven't got the strength to get up again.
Yeah. In fact, being a successful entrepreneur is about learning from failure and
putting these lessons into practice.
I'm sorry?
Applying those lessons.
Putting them into applying those lessons to the next idea. I have heard time and time again that 9 out of 10 startups, but like
terrific. 9 out of 10 actually fail.
Yeah, I believe that I would be the little one. I wish I had known how many times I would have to repeat, I think, reiterate, and reiterate, and
move my ideas slightly in another direction.
Yeah, this is the
P-I-V-O-T, pivot.
And pivot.
Pivot. Not
pivot.
Pivot.
And pivot my idea. Not successful. And even at that point, I still wasn't making money. I should have known that success takes time. A lot of it. You know what? I do agree. 100% of what she is saying. Really. First, you have to think that your society might change. You have to be flexible enough to understand that. You don't have the first and yeah, I agree.
I think anything worthwhile is worthwhile struggling for. It doesn't happen easily. According to Sia, these are the lessons that she's learned. So according to Sia, which statements are true?
Third, I learned that when creating a product, simplicity is key. There were times when I had so many ideas and wanted to build in many directions at once. And those are the times that I failed. If only I had known that it was more important to focus on one thing at a time, I wouldn't have burnt myself out and gotten so discouraged. To be honest, if I had known how hard it would be to succeed, I might not have tried to create a startup. The startup world isn't for everyone. Founding a startup is not a 9-to-5 job. In the startup world, the work never stops. But for me, the experience was worth every minute.
Okay, so let's look at these statements and then tell me if you think they're true or false. It is important to keep things simple.
Yes. True.
She failed when she had too many ideas at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't focus on a particular. It is important to focus on no more than 3 things at the same time.
Me, I would say yes, but she didn't say that. So,
You need to focus on one thing at a time. Otherwise,
false.
you can. She never got burnt out, but she came close to it.
True.
She said, if I had known, I wouldn't have got burnt out, which means she did get burnt out.
Oh,
She must have had some sort of breakdown.
I didn't hear that.
Everyone should think about creating a startup.
False, she said that. Stop creating a startup didn't.
It's not for me. I never wanted my own. It's
me. Yes.
No, I don't. I didn't want my own business because you've got to do everything. You've got to open the front door. You've got to be the cook, bottle washer, everything.
Yeah. Freedom is so tasteful.
And she says it's possible to work 9 to 5 in a startup.
No.
That's the problem. Startups.
Not the answer.
You work. I know my husband ran his own company. He would be working till 12, 1 o'clock. She's not sure if the experience was worth it.
Of course, she's sure.
So she's learning lessons learned. She's learning from her mistakes. And so for the rest of the lesson, it is up to you to talk about what is your proudest achievement when you first set out to achieve it.
When I look over my shoulder in the past, I would say in the field of changing life, my proudest achievement is being a psychologist. When you first set out to Chicago, had you thought about possible problems you might encounter? Did you just head toward the wall without thinking too much? Yeah, I think I did that. I didn't think about possible problems. Yes, I just head toward my without. Along the way, what obstacles did you face? Well, I mean, being a psychologist, I never tells you that the obstacle is finding an internship.
Oh. So you do all the studying and then you can't find an internship.
Yes, this is really
It's frustrating.
Yeah, the problem you have to tackle before. This is the first issue. Were they economic or personal? Well, I mean, none of them, but personal, maybe more personal than that. Did you have any criticisms? Do you have any regrets? Well, I would talk about the first part of program to create. Yes, I didn't have, even if I have regret. I spent much time instead of putting in life. at this time I was young, and I met the mother of my daughter. I'm willing to profit from this time.
Maybe
But I'm-
focus a bit more on her than on the start.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is the regret I have.
And I think as a psychologist, you have to solve other people's problems, but you can't always solve your own. You know, because of spending time with other people.
That's why we have also psychologists for us.
Okay. Right, thank you. That's the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it.